Bickley and Marotta mornings. Arizona sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
There are two things that are irretrievable in this world, two things you can never get back. Time and first impressions. The Cardinals aced the ladder in their first preseason game. Now, I know, preseason football is beyond meaningless. The best team in the history of the NFL lost 3 of 4 preseason games. So I am trying to stay in my shoes a bit. But after the game day incompetence of the previous regime, I am extremely encouraged by what we all witnessed on Friday. I saw a defense that was out for blood and harassed Russell Wilson. I saw violence. I saw a team that was connected and competitive. And both Clayton Tune and David Blau both performed pretty well. But most of all, I saw a new culture on display, a culture of discipline and solidarity where even the vets who had the night off were in uniform and engaged on the sidelines, and that stuff matters. And if there was a fear that Jonathan Gannon and his impossibly young coaching staff might struggle with the mechanics of steering a football team on game day, those fears were certainly alleviated. And his clear thinking and level-headedness at the end of the game, when his defense purposely allowed the Broncos to score so a fourth-string quarterback could direct a game-winning drive, well, that was something to behold, and a competence we haven't seen in Arizona in quite some time.
Yeah, it was good. I had to tell a couple guys to speak up a little bit. I couldn't hear them, truthfully. I said, turn your volume up a little bit. But, JG 5 minutes ago, he said, turn the volume down, so damned if you do, damned if you don't. But it was good. It was clean. We got, we don't have a lot of egos on this staff. So, they know it's not about them. It's about the players. And they're here to serve the players on game day as well. And we got to make sure that we operate in a way that helps the players. So I was pleased with the headset.
That was Jonathan Gannon Friday night following that Cardinals preseason victory, talking about the communication within the coaches in game one. And that's one of the things we talked about Thursday and Friday leading up to that game, Vic, is one of the things to watch for. This is a very young staff, very inexperienced staff in terms of their current position. So when you have a 30-year-old Nick Rawlis, calling out plays as a defensive coordinator, or a 36-year-old Drew Petzing calling out plays as an offensive coordinator, or a 40-year-old Jonathan Gannon overseeing the whole operation for the first time in that capacity.
Yep.
I think things did go well. Now, will there be slip-ups? It happens to every team at some point, but for the first go-around, there's not much to be upset about.
This is not to suggest the Cardinals are suddenly going to win 8 or 9 football games. This is not what we're saying here. But what we are saying is exactly what you pointed to. The top 3 coaches on this football team, not only are they impossibly young, and you just gave their ages as proof, but all 3 of them are doing a job they've never done before. All 3 of them. Mm-hmm. So as a result, I think some people were like, okay, what is this going to look like? And what it looked like was pretty good, in my opinion, in terms of just the way they handled decisions, the way the football team got in and out of breaks, got in and out of the huddle, got in and out of plays. And Jonathan Gannon looked very comfortable in charge of the whole thing. To the contrary, I thought he kind of got in Sean Payton's kitchen a little bit, because Sean Payton, I think it was the second possession of the game, where they were so surprised that the Cardinals offense could actually pick up first downs that he challenged a spot in a preseason game. And then the Broncos, he kept his starting offense out there for 4 series. That's unheard of with a veteran quarterback like Russell Wilson. And I think that was in direct response to the way the Cardinals defense was dictating what was going on pretty early on. I was not prepared to see that. I thought, if anything, okay, maybe this offense with this offensive line, maybe they've got the makings of something. But I thought defensively, this is going to be really hard to hold this thing together. The play of the cornerbacks in the secondary, this is Jonathan Gannon's specialty. You can tell these guys have been coached up well. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm going to throw an asterisk every time I talk about this team for the next 5 days, because it's only one preseason game, and these things don't mean a darn thing. Because keep in mind, when the outcome doesn't matter, you're not really watching sports. They're sports, but not really. If the outcome doesn't matter, it's not what it is going to be, by definition. But the little things you look for, the little things I was looking for. I mean, we had 4+ years of this stuff, of the delay of games, the pre-snap penalties, the lack of discipline. And that came right from the head coach. I'm sorry, it did.
Yeah, and the only really, again, the negative on that front was the timeout usage right before halftime, which led to Denver getting a much more calm and clean field goal attempt off, which they converted on for 3 points at the end of the half. But Jonathan Gannon, he gave his rationale on doing it, but said, it was probably a mistake. It was a mistake.
And I would give a rookie head coach a mistake like that. If that's all it is, sure, mulligan time.
Yeah. Here's Jonathan Gannon after the game on Friday talking about being able to take some learning lessons from this contest.
I told the team, like, the most important thing, the good, the bad, and the ugly, we got to learn from it. So we got to clean up some mistakes, all 3 phases, and we got to get a little bit better from this tape. With saying that, I liked how they competed. I thought they, ran well and hit well, and we had some things that we executed down the stretch there that is really the difference between winning and losing games.
Yeah, and even at the end of the game, David Blau's leading that last drive after Denver scores, after which the Cardinals let Denver score to give them time to execute that drive. And I know you said it very well. The outcome doesn't matter. So it makes it really easy for a head coach to say, we're going for 2 here because
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're ending in a tie. So who really cares
Nobody
at the
cares.
end of the day?
Right.
But for them to make that determination, to go for 2 and to convert it, when you have stressed, hey, it's important to win these games. And I think it is important for this particular iteration of the Arizona Cardinals to taste victory whenever it can. That might have lasting effects too.
I agree with that because especially with they have seen the power rankings. They know how low the expectations are. So I'm sure you can't help but wonder. And so winning a game of any sort certainly helps them believe that, hey, we can do this. So I think that was that went about as well as it could go.
I agree with you.